welcome back to another NHL 22 video. Today we are going to be simulating the full career of Matvei Michkov, one of the phenoms in not this year's draft, but next year's draft. He's probably going to go number 2 to Connor Bedard, but I mean, he's an absolute stud. Right now I'm doing a franchise mode with the LA Kings, and we drafted him, and his numbers are outrageous. So I figured, let's simulate his whole career and see how well he plays, but it all depends on who is going to draft him. So let's check out who is going to draft Matvei Michkov with the first overall pick. The Seattle Kraken select Connor Bedard, 84 overall. Does that mean the Arizona Coyotes, poor Matvei Michkov? Let's see. Second overall, and there it is. Matvei Michkov gets selected to the Arizona Coyotes in the second pick. Side note, we've already done a Connor Bedard career simulation, so let's see if Michkov can win more Stanley Cups, more hardware than Connor Bedard. In his rookie season, first year in the NHL with the Arizona Coyotes, Matvei Michkov is going to be playing on a line with Eric Holla and Claude Giroux. I mean, honestly, this team's not terrible. He'll be playing with Dylan Guenther eventually, I'm sure. He's also a sniper. Ryan Getzlaf, Clayton Keller. But they got a couple of legendary Ducks on the team, Scory Perry and Ryan Getzlaf. But not a terrible team in year number 1. Let's see how he can do. Can Michkov lead the Coyotes to an improbable playoff run? And just a side note here, I am not controlling Arizona. I'm controlling a completely random team. So Michkov's stats and all of his career progression will be done by the computer, nothing user. In his rookie season, Matvei Michkov is unable to help lead the Arizona Coyotes to the Stanley Cup playoffs. In his first year, he collects 36 goals, 24 helpers, and 60 points, but was a minus 21. He is now up to an 87 overall. So we'll see if he grows in the offseason and his potential actually increase from a high elite to a medium franchise. In his sophomore season, Michkov sticks to an 87 overall, but he's got some new line mates now as he's playing with Anze Kopitar and Dylan Guenther. You got to imagine Guenther was going to play with him eventually. They got Kevin LeBanc all the way down here on the fourth line. Kind of interesting. But their team isn't that bad. I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs here. So let's see if Michkov can follow up his 60-point season with potentially a point per game or a 50-goal season. As year number 2 comes to a close, Michkov has a little bit better of a season as he puts up 71 points, 11 more than last year, 35 goals, 36 helpers, but still a minus 20, 18 power play points. He'll get better with time. But his overall actually went down from an 87 to an 86. Even with Michkov going a negative 20 in the plus minus, they still make the playoffs, but they fall in round 1 to the Vegas Golden Knights. In his third season in the NHL, it looks like Matvei Michkov again has some new line mates as he's playing with Ruther McGee and Yurov. I mean, looks like some young guys. Let's see, Ruther. Sniper, that's not good. And Yurov, also a sniper. They have too many snipers. They need a playmaker to play with Michkov. Maybe bring up Tyler Toffoli, Clayton Keller. They have some pretty good overalls on the squad now, so I'm expecting a pretty deep run here. But let's see what Michkov can do in his third season. Can he get past that hunch of always being plus minus a minus 20 plus? So we'll see. Also, this is his last year on his rookie level deal. So we're going to see if he ends up signing an extension or if he goes to a different team. In his contract season, Michkov once again misses the playoffs. Poor Michkov. Hopefully he doesn't have to sign with the Arizona Coyotes. He can go any other team. I mean, it's definitely not somewhere you want to be. But let's take a look at the player stats for the Arizona Coyotes. How did he play this year? And he has his best year by far. 74 points in 82 games, a plus 13. So he's really turning a corner, it looks like now. 88 overall. Let's see his full career stats. So far, 205 points in 246 games, minus 28. And then postseason, forgot to check that last time, 6 points in 6 games, a plus 3. The Arizona Coyotes and Matvei Michkov do get a deal done as he is now a 90 overall, playing on that top line with Ruther McGee and Dylan Guenther. I'm not even going to try pronouncing that. McGrothery? Something like that. Matvei Michkov, what was the contract that they signed him to? Only a 1-year deal at 11.725 mil. So, I mean, this is another contract year, not a long-term extension. Let's see if he can have a breakout year. I'm predicting, it's a prediction time. He's going to have his best year for sure, but I'm going to go with he's going to have 44 goals and 52 assists. 44 goals and 52 assists, 96 points. Honestly, I was pretty damn close to my prediction. Michkov goes for 43 goals. I said 44, and 53 assists. I said 54. 96 points. First time in his career, he is above a point per game, but what you don't like to see, -7. So I'm assuming that means they did not make the Stanley Cup playoffs. I stand corrected. The Coyotes do make the playoffs, except they get smashed by the Minnesota Wild, who eventually go on to win the Stanley Cup once again. Michkov once again signs another contract extension with the Arizona Coyotes. They're getting a little bit better, so it's probably not a terrible idea. But let's take a look at the contract now. Another one-year deal, this time $14 million. He's just taking a big payday. One-year deals after another. But he is now up to a 94 overall. Still that medium franchise potential. He's got a new center iceman, though. That's interesting. They got Dylan Guenther still. So Rasmussen is the new first-line center. Very interesting. I mean, you could have put Yurov or Lindbergh. Honestly, anyone but Rasmussen. So we'll see how that ends up working out in this year. Year number 5 for Matvei Michkov and the Arizona Coyotes. Another year in the books, and Michkov takes a step back this year as he only puts up 80 points in 82 games, -27. But that's probably due to the fact he's playing, where is this bum? He's playing with Michael Rasmussen, so I don't know why the Arizona Coyotes wanted to do that, but hopefully this year is the last year that Michkov's on the Arizona Coyotes as his contract is up. Send him to a team that, not going to play him with a fourth-line bum in the middle and the top line. And as expected, the Coyotes did not make the playoffs, and Minnesota won the Stanley Cup for the 3rd straight year. We got a new dynasty here. Let's take a look at the Minnesota team, actually. So this is the Minnesota team that's been terrorizing the league. 88 overall. Fiala, Joel Eriksson Ek, Marco Rossi, Bjorkstrand, Marquette, Carson Lambo is just a bunch of guys, I guess, just work real well together. But 3 straight Stanley Cups for this squad. It looks like Matvei Michkov is a free agent this year as he wants $13.275 for the next 7 years. But he is a restricted free agent, so I'm not sure if he'll end up staying on Arizona if someone else will be able to scoop him up. Unfortunately for Michkov, he is still on the Arizona Coyotes, but he got his center back. Ruther McGee and Dylan Guenther will now play with him. Thank God Michael Rasmussen back on the 3rd, 4th line where he belongs. But what type of deal does Michkov have now? He will be signing another one-year deal for $14 million. So I think as soon as he's not a restricted free agent, he's out of here. But for the time being, another one-year contract for Michkov at $14 million. Let's take an updated look at his stats, actually. We haven't looked at them for a while. So shooting, incredible. Skating, incredible. Puck skills, incredible. Senses, incredible. I mean, he's a 93 overall. Was a 94. But, I mean, he's a superstar. So playing with some decent line mates now to see what he can do in year numero, I believe, 5. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year number 6, my apologies. With the year coming to an end, Michkov has his best year yet as he's a +29, 106 points, a 50 goal scorer. This definitely should be enough to get him into the postseason. But what a year from Matvei Michkov on his 3rd $14 million contract. Maybe Arizona is finally turning around. The Coyotes do make the playoffs and they make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they eventually fall to Florida, but they were 12-1 headed into the Stanley Cup into the Stanley Cup Finals. What a year. Let's go take a look at their team standings. So it looks like the Coyotes were actually the 3rd best team in the NHL this year. Minnesota number 1, of course, but 50 wins, 23 losses, 9 overtime losses. Pretty good year out of the Arizona Coyotes after all their years of disgusting disappointment and failure. Year 7, and Michkov is back up to a 94 overall. Dylan Guenther had some good boost as well, up to a 90 overall. And then Rutger McGee, 86 overall, manning the center position. Ideally, someone can come in and play that first-line center. That's a playmaker, but that's a wish for another time. But let's see what type of contract Michkov has. I'm assuming it's another one-year deal. It is a 7-year deal, so it's going to take him until he's 31 years old. $15.4 million a season. Crazy extension for Michkov. If you're getting paid $15.4 million, You need to produce. You need to win a Stanley Cup for the Arizona Coyotes. With his first year in the books on his big extension, Matvei Michkov has his biggest season yet as he scores 56 goals, 60 helpers, 116 points, plus 36. Gunter has a big year, and then Rutger McGee also adds 83 points. I mean, not bad for that top line there. So great year for Michkov. Even with Michkov's best year, he is still unable to lead the Arizona Coyotes to a playoffs. Poor Michkov. And for the fourth time, the Minnesota Wild have won the Stanley Cup. Michkov actually wins some hardware this year as he wins the Art Ross Trophy, the Hart Trophy. Anything else for Michkov? Let's take a look down. I imagine, yeah, the Ted Lindsay as well. So 3 hardware, 3 new trophies for Matvei Michkov, but still missing that one big Stanley Cup. Maybe if you gave him some teammates, Arizona, and maybe if Arizona just didn't inherently suck. Coming off of a career year in year number 8, Michkov's got a new line mate. They got Jacob Vrana playing. They also added Artemi Panarin and Anton Lundell. So maybe even Lundell playing on that top line would probably be a smarter idea. But I'm not the GM or the coach there. So Michkov's going to be playing with Rutger McGee and Jacob Vrana. So let's see what he can do here. He's got 6 more years left on his deal. Another year wrapped up, and Michkov once again eclipses the 100-point mark as this year he scores 65 goals, which is pretty damn impressive since he only had 20 power play points, so 87 even strength points, so even above a point per game, excluding the playoffs. That will be his 3rd straight 100-plus season. Let's see if they can finally make it back into the playoffs or if it was not enough. Arizona does climb back into the playoffs, but they fall in 5 games to the Nashville Predators as Seattle wins their first Stanley Cup in this franchise rebuild. And Matvei Michkov adds some more hardware to his collection as he collects the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy this year for most goals in the entire NHL. Matvei Michkov just had a monster year as he puts up 74 goals in 82 games, 49 helpers, good for 123 points, plus 17, 25 power play goals. What a year for Matvei Michkov. Let's see his overall. Still a 94. He's got 5 years left at 15.4. He's now 27 years old, but I mean, if you score 74 goals, you better make the playoffs. Coyotes do make the playoffs, but they fall once again in round 1 as shocker, the Minnesota Wild go on to win the Stanley Cup for the 5th time in the last 6 years, I believe. Insane. Michkov once again adding to his collection as he collects the Lady Byng Trophy. Anything else, I imagine he will be getting the Maurice Rocket Richard for the 2nd straight time, but he does not win the Art or Hart Ross Trophy as that goes to a Pittsburgh Penguin this year. He missed out by 1 point as he finishes with 123, and the Pittsburgh Penguin Emil Gerventi finishes with 124. Michkov's 10th year in the NHL is here as he is still on the Arizona Coyotes, unfortunately. I'm kind of thinking to trade for him and then just buy him out and let whoever get him for free, just to make this a little bit more interesting. You know, you don't want Arizona to hold them the whole time since they absolutely suck and they'll never win. But he'll be playing with Rutger McGee and Jacob Vrana, 2nd line. I mean, the team got a lot worse. Anton Lundell should definitely come to that 1st line. But that bottom 6, I mean, a 70 overall, a 72 overall, not the best. And Michkov is playing power play. I thought he wasn't. But let's see what he can do in the 10th year. And, you know, maybe I'll make a trade for him in the offseason and buy him out and see who will pick him up in free agency. Year 10 done and dusted and in the books. The Arizona Coyotes do make the playoffs, but they fall in round 1 to the San Jose Sharks. At least they made the playoffs, so let's go check out Michkov's stats. Once again, puts up 100-plus points as this year he scores 57 goals, adds 55 helpers, good for 112 points. So not a bad year for Michkov for the, I think that's 5th now? No, yeah, 5th straight year over 100 points. His career totals are now up to 945 points in 820 games, plus 68. 489 goals. I mean, scoring every 2 games. Pretty good career. Just missing that 1 Stanley Cup. Also, it'd be next to impossible to trade for Michkov, so I'm not even going to bother. Year 11, it looks like Anton Lundell is finally playing with the legend Matvei Michkov as he is up to a 94 overall, 28 years old in year 11. He's got 3 years left of the deal, so we're going to see how this goes. But he's on 5 straight 100-point seasons, and their new left wing will be Brennan Othman. I don't know too much about him. Let's see his stats. 85 overall, a sniper. So we'll see how that works out. Honestly, I'd rather Dylan Cousins probably play in the middle there or something. But, you know, Arizona Coyotes, they don't like to win. With the 11th season in the books, Michkov's 5-year 100-point streak has been snapped as he only puts up 92 points in 82 games, still above a point per game, but did not get to that triple digits this year and was a -9, -9. So I assume they didn't make the playoffs, but we got to check. Tough year for Michkov as Arizona does not make the playoffs. He did what he can do, but just wasn't enough. And it looks like for first time in forever, the Minnesota Wild are not Stanley Cup champions, and it is the Tampa Bay Lightning. After a tough season, we're back, and it looks like Michkov's got some new line mates here as he's sticking with Anton Lundell, but they got Jeffrey Paxpoon, who, you know, might be good. He is a playmaker, so hopefully that can help out there, drafted by the Ottawa Senators. So Matvei Michkov looking to get back in that 100-point column and back to the Stanley Cup playoffs. The team's looking a little bit weak down low, but who's the Quinn and Musty guy? Even him up on that second line. There's some interesting choices with this, but let's continue the simulation. After a rough year last year, the Coyotes actually bounce back and do make the playoffs this year, but the Kraken take care of them in 4 straight games. Michkov has a great year as he scores 73 goals, a -1, but 73 goals, 36 helpers, 109 points. So it looks like playing with Jeffrey and Lundell was really helpful for him, but they still minus players. Let's take a quick look at Michkov's full career stats here. So he's got 1 year left after this year at 15 mil, so he might be moving on to a different squad. 30 years old now, but here are his individual stats, and I want to take a look at his playoff stats. We haven't really been looking at that. So in his career, he has 1,146 points in 984 games. In the postseason, he has 72 points in 52 games, a +34. So, I mean, he's been really good in the playoffs. He hasn't really had a bad year in the whole entire playoffs. So, pretty impressive. Even that 1 year, they almost won the Stanley Cup. So close. 31 points in 19 games, +23. But that's pretty good stats for a team that hasn't really been the greatest. Looking into the record book for the Arizona Coyotes, Matvei Michkov is now the all-time leader in points. Let's see what else he is. And goals. So 614 goals, 1,146 points. He'll probably catch assist. Actually, depends on how long he stays here, but he'll probably catch assist if he plays for a long time. David Jiříček is currently leading our team in assists, and 8 more assists, and he'll have the all-time record. In his last potential season for the Arizona Coyotes, Michkov will once again be playing with Lundell and Jeffrey Paxpoon. So we'll see if he ends up signing here, you know. 15.4 mil for this last season, 1 year left on the deal. The team is actually getting a little bit better around him, but if I'm him, I'm out of here after this season. In Michkov's contract year, he has a pretty good season. 66 goals, 40 helpers, 106 points, back over that 100-point mark. 436 shots. He shoots a lot. But, you know, +31, so I'm anticipating them to make the playoffs here. Arizona does make the playoffs, but as per usual, you know, they follow that routine. First round exit. Michkov adds some more hardware as he brings home the Lady Bing once again. Anything else? I imagine the Rocket Richard. Let's see. The Rocket Richard does not go to him, but it went to him last year. I forgot to show you guys. The day has finally come. Michkov is an unrestricted free agent, 31 years old, won 17.35 mil. Let's see where he ends up. And for the first time, Matvei Michkov has got some new threads on as he is now a proud member of the Boston Bruins, 94 overall. He's playing with Edward Froats, who is a power forward. I mean, incredible stats on him. Really good player all around. He was also drafted by the Ottawa Senators. And then Juraj Slafkovsky. I like the name. And he is a two-way forward, so that might just work perfect. A two-way forward, a power forward, and then the sniper. And they also have Sven Holmstrom, who is a two-way forward as well. This team's pretty good. And then Kale Leonard, I mean, he chose the right team. Honestly, Leonard playing on that first line might be a little bit more beneficial to him, but first time on a new squad, Matvei Michkov. Congratulations. A 1-year deal for 11.74 mil. So he definitely took a pay cut to play here. So let's see if it ends up being the correct call. In Michkov's first year as a Boston Bruin, he has an incredible year as he puts up 114 points, 59 goals, 55 helpers, a plus 37. So that should be good enough to get him into the postseason. Let's check it out. The Bruins do get into a postseason, but Michkov's first round woes continue as once again he loses in round number 1, this time to the New York Rangers. Michkov's time as a Boston Bruin very short-lived as he moves on to the St. Louis Blues, as he is now playing on their top line with William Eklund, who is a two-way forward, and then Oscar Alosin, who is another two-way forward. So, I mean, making his rounds around the league now. He was tied down for too long to one team, but this time he signs a 4-year deal at 18.35 mil. He's going to be a Blue for a while. That is a monster contract. Let's see if he can be worth the $18.5 million. In his first year on his monster contract, Michkov and the St. Louis Blues do not make the Stanley Cup playoff. Michkov still has a pretty good year himself, 101 points in 82 games, 59 goals. But, you know, just holy, look at this guy. Genital? 185 penalty minutes. What a goon. The young man turned old man is now 33 years old, still playing on the Blues. He's playing with William Eklund, who is actually digressing a lot, 35 years old. And then Oscar Olofsson, who is also still 35 years old. So, I mean, this team probably wasn't the best move for Michkov to go to, but he's still a beast. He moved down from a 94 to a 93. Let's see if in year 2, I'm going to predict, I think he's going to get to the 115 point mark this year. Another year in the books and another unreal season for Matvei Michkov. Almost hit 500 shots this year, 72 goals, 106 points, and honestly only 13 power play goals. So that's pretty damn impressive. Let's take a quick look at his stats here. So up to 870 goals. He might be competing for Alexander Ovechkin's all-time goal record. He might get there. 1,573 points plus 146. I mean, he's been pretty good for St. Louis, but is he able to break the streak and finally make it to the second round? Where is it? St. Louis, they do make it to the second round. Wow, what a miracle, but they fall in round 2 as his former team, the Boston Bruins, go on and win the Stanley Cup. Even with 72 goals, he still does not win the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. In year number 17 of Michkov's career, he is still on the St. Louis Blues, of course, on that monster contract. He's playing with Eklund and Samuel Summers. I don't know anything about Samuel Summers, but he is a first-round pick from the Detroit Red Wings, power forward. So it looks like Eklund's getting a little bit older with him too. Michkov up to 34 years old now, 92 overall. Still a pretty damn good player, so we'll see if he can continue to dominate. Michkov was back in the playoffs, but he falls in round 1 to the pesky Minnesota Wild in 7 games. As Michkov gets a little bit older, it's time that we start tracking these stats. So for most goals, Michkov currently is 3rd all-time with 932. So he can catch Ovechkin. He needs 200 goals before he retires. So probably at least 4 seasons. Points, he's not quite up there. Ovechkin retires with 2,000. Anywhere else do we see him? So that looks like that's the only spot we will see him. But let's see if Matvei Michkov can get that number 1 all-time goals. He's quickly digressing, though, down to an 89 overall. Still playing with Eklund and Summers, so we need a big year, Michkov, like 60, 70 goals here, because I don't know if you're going to make it 4 more seasons. In Michkov's contract year, his final season with the St. Louis Blues potentially, he puts up 76, that's 76 goals, 49 helpers, 125 points. That honestly might be his best season ever. Yeah, 123 was his former best, his most goals ever. Just like Ovechkin, he gets a little bit better with age when it comes to goal scoring. Let's see if that was good enough to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, though. They do make the playoffs, but, you know, routine. Losing the first round of the playoffs to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, at least. Nashville swept everyone up in the in this playoff run. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. That's crazy. Wow. I was not expecting this. At 36 years old, Matvei Michkov calls it a career. 1,816 points in 1,476 games, 1,010 goals, 806 assists. What a career from Matvei Michkov. Honestly, hangs him up a little bit early. Still a 90 overall, coming off his best ever season, and he retires. 36 years old. I mean, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that, but let's look at his full career stats in the postseason as well. 123 points in 87 games. Wow. I was not expecting that. I thought he had 3-4 more seasons potentially in him. But I mean, what a way to go out as one of the best goal scorers in NHL history. Potentially the next Alexander Ovechkin. Before we end the video, looking at the most goals, Matvei Michkov finishes third all-time with 1,010 goals. Doesn't quite crack the points mark. He was close. He had 1,800. But wow, that is a shocker. But that's going to do it for this full career simulation. Matvei Michkov, I mean, one of the best players the NHL has ever seen. Just cannot get that Stanley Cup ring. Won a ton of hardware. But that's going to do it for his career and this video. Let me know who you want me to do next, and we'll get that career simulation underway. Hopefully can win a couple of Stanley Cups. But thank you for watching. Matvei Michkov. Check out my LA Kings franchise mode. I have him on the squad, and he's lighting it up. 80 goals in a season. He's crazy, but thank you for watching. As always, have a great day. Peace out.